Hey folks, how you doing? Nice to see you. Jopo here, Jopo Patriot. Welcome to the show. Gonna head back. Here we are along the Madawaska here. And I think it's coffee time. I gotta get back and get some coffee brewing. We'll talk to you later. See you now.
Howdy, folk. How y'all doing? Well, cup of Joe on the go with Jopo. It's a great day out there today. Nice and sunny and all. But we did get freezing rain last night. Went out there this morning, threw out some salt, and letting the sun do its thing. Go out there with a shovel, break that all up, and clean up nice and tidy and feed the deer. Other than that, I'm working on a little presentation. This lawful community is becoming to be quite an important issue with a lot of people who are sort of displeased on the way things are going and are looking for change as we head into Aquarius. We're living in some very, very interesting times. It's a great time, really, to be alive. I mean, what we are experiencing here is basically the draining of the swamp. It's what's happening. All this corruption and collusion has it's come to an end. It's coming to an end. Okay, we as a collective, the consciousness is growing substantially. And that's what I believe is, well, let's go back to the Hermetic principles, and that everything in the universe is vibration and energy. Everything has polarity, cause and effect. And we're all part of the collective, part of the all. We're being enlightened right now, awakened and enlightened as we ascend into the age of Aquarius. See, an age, if you understand precession of the equinoxes, if you want to look that up. On average, the great year of the wobble of the rotation of Earth, the complete 360 wobble is 25,920 years. Divide that by 360, and each degree takes 73 years. Now, that great age is divided into 12 segments. The 12 segments are the 12 signs of the zodiac, and they represent the constellation or constellations that are along the ecliptic of the galaxy, of the Milky Way galaxy. Okay? It's the age on the spring solstice, March 20th, that the sun comes up in. What constellation is in the background? That's the age. That determines the age that we're in. Okay? Now, I believe that the Mayan calendar, the Baktun calendar, basically was, it came to an end and then started a new cycle, but it ended on December 12th, 2012, right? December 21st, 2012, which is basically the winter solstice, okay? But I believe that it was indicating that we had left the controlling energies, per se, of the age of Pisces. And now we are heading into a larger constellation of Aquarius. So if everything is vibration and energy, then the energy emitted, or the energy emitted of the larger constellation, is, I believe, the reason for the collective, the consciousness of man to be vibrating at a higher frequency now. Right? That's the way I see it. And we're going into the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is known for prosperity, peace. So that in itself is very heartwarming. Peace, prosperity, and going back to lawful communities. The legal system was all part and parcel to this. The collusion, the corruption, the legal system, it's all a construct of, I don't know, the Khazarian mafia, they call it. It's the Illuminati. It's the deep state. It's the World Economic Forum, going back to Klaus Schwab, and it's much greater than him. It's the Rothschilds and what all that control, all that mafia is gone. That mafia has been not only swept under the rug, but you have to cut off the head of the snake there. It's a den of vipers, you know. That's what it was. And now we're all that colluded money that they basically stole from us through taxation and interest and compounded interest that was absurd. Okay, all that is coming back to us. Okay, what ended up happening was I don't know the number of the executive order, but Trump, in like one of the first executive orders that he wrote, was in fact to deal with that crimes against humanity. Okay, and the executive order was such that it contained that anyone found guilty of treason or crimes against humanity will face the penalty in treason and crimes against humanity. It is death. Okay? So anybody found guilty of these crimes would pay the price and have their assets, and I believe it even included the assets of their family, so that it couldn't be that wealth made through corruption could not be distributed amongst the family. Okay, so all of that gets seized, okay, and it's all going to be martial law and military tribunals. Because what's happened is devolution has occurred. There loss of confidence in the political system, in the judicial system. Okay? And even in the military. Through all society. Okay? So so devolution has occurred, and people have lost confidence, and that's when devolution occurs. And that's the military has to step in to save the republic or the country, and it's all going back to. So all those assets that have been seized from all this corruption and collusion and money of the elders, like there's the Chinese elders, there's a Saint Germain fund, and there's another one, a Rodriguez fund, and these funds are from old money. And plus all that money that has been seized from corruption, including that of the 650 planes of gold from the Vatican basement. 650. Charlie Ward, look that up. Charlie Ward, and 650 planes of gold removed from the Vatican. So all that money is what is. See, these Rothschilds, International Monetary Fund, deep state, whatever you want to call them, okay? Throughout the years, all this money that they've accumulated, they didn't get away with, okay? It's all coming back to us. It's going to, because all the debt was based on fraud. The legal system, legal is not lawful, okay? And you have to go back to an earlier video that sort of explained the basis of law in legal and the basis of law in lawful, okay? Two different things. But I discussed that in a previous video, so you might want to go and watch that. But anyways, where we were talking here, money, yeah, all this money's coming back to us, okay? So all debt is forgiven, okay? Right off the bat. So whatever you're in possession of, it's paid for, done, okay? And the contract, it was all based on fraud. Simply grammar, okay? A legal contract must be written in parse syntax, it's called, okay? And you'd have to look that up. That's another topic that we'll do in the future, okay? And will involve Russell J. Gould and David Wynn Miller and what they were able to accomplish. But for now, we're headed for this glory, yeah. And that is Nesera and Gesera, okay? There's a national aspect and a global aspect there. That's the N and the G, okay? So Nesera is national, economic, securities, and Reformation Act, okay? And then they're on the national aspect and on the global aspect. 209 nations signed on to this agreement to go to a gold-backed currency, no more fiat dollar backed by nothing. It's monopoly money, really. Yeah. Like Canadian Tire money here in Canada, coupons that you get, points on your card, air miles, sort of. Okay. Anyways. But yeah, we're all headed for glory, and it's coming. You can see it working with the BRICS nations and the old SWIFT international exchange of funds. That's done with now, and it's been replaced by ISO 20022. Okay, 20,022. 20,022. That's what that. So, and the new. Doesn't really matter what currency you go to. It's going to be all gold backed. And the actual exchange, the means of exchange for national purchases is going to be done using XLM as the medium of exchange within that ISO standard. And if you're doing an international purchase, it will be XRP, which will be the means of exchange. That's what it's going to. It's all in the works, and all the banks really, and I think we're going back here to the 25th of December. Yes, but things. All the banks have to be Basel III compliant, and they have to be the ISO compliant. And in order to be that ISO standard compliant, they have to be gold backed. Okay, they have to be running under the quantum financial system. So all the banks have already been trained, and if they're not, as of the 25th, I believe it was 25th of January or the 26th of January, that that they weren't going to be able to operate as a bank. Okay, so I would imagine in the States, I guess Wells Fargo is going to be the major distributor of these funds, from what I hear. Okay. I don't like to get in, what I do is I take a lot of this information and I put it in my back pocket for reference, I don't write it in stone, okay? No, you just got to put it there for reference. And then, you got to look at the way I look at news is I read the good, what I was expecting of my two sources, and and then I got to go see what the other people are, what the everything has polarity, right? And going back to hermetic principles, yeah. So I mean, it's not always bad. It's not always good. It does this dance. Energy is in flux, right? Okay, yeah. So nothing is stagnant. So I like to look at regarding news. I like to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes, painful as it is sometimes but then you know, like I say, your mind is very much like a parachute in that it is most efficient in the open position, right? Otherwise, yeah, you come to a sudden landing there without the parachute, right? So, no, I like to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I like to decipher. I like to discern for myself. You know, I'll compile the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then you got to take that 40,000 foot view and say, oh, okay, now I can see the forest. You know, where before I had the tree right in front of me, that's all I saw. No, step back and take a look at it. Oh, well, I'm in the forest. That's where I am. Oh, okay. And I see that tree and I see that tree. Oh, and I see a path that goes from there to there, right? So, yeah, and you must be noticing on the mainstream media that they're starting to come out with things that are like, oh, yeah? Not that I watch mainstream media anymore. I got rid of cable years ago. But now I see the clips the CNN, right? And Fox seems to be turned right around there now. They're kind of conservative again. But it's all pretty interesting. But we're heading into some decent times, and put your seatbelt on, you know, and make sure to have some food. They say, have enough for a month, hopefully 3 months, ideally. Water, um, some kind of backup for energy, be it a generator with fuel, right? We might go through a little period there but that's okay. It's okay. It's like the phoenix. It's got to come to a full burn. Yeah. Get rid of this old system and let's bring in the new as we head into Aquarius. It's interesting times, folks. Joe Poe here, and I gotta go. We'll talk to you soon.